Hi guys! So I've had a lot of people ask me my views on the Cry It Out method. My views on it mostly go along with the rest of my parenting views, so I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess. This is a subject that I feel like every parent needs to make their own decision about whether or not they want to practice the Cry It Out method. If it works for you, then that's awesome. And if you don't want to do it, then that's cool too. I have never practiced the Cry It Out method. It is just not something for my family. I don't believe in it for my family. And the reason is because I try to put myself in situations that I'm putting my babies in. The way that I see it is I never have liked to just like sit in my room, in a dark room, and like cry myself to sleep. Like, how depressing is that? I don't know anybody who's like to sit there and cry themselves to sleep. Basically, in a way, depending on how you practice Cry It Out method, that's basically what you're doing to your babies. So I just think it's like really depressing, like just sitting there and crying yourself to sleep. Like, I've never liked crying myself to sleep, so why would I put my babies in that situation? So that's just my way of thinking on it, and I know it works for a lot of people, and that's perfectly fine for you. I'm not going to judge anybody who does use it, but for my family, it's just not the way that we do things. I myself prefer to be like comforted to sleep, whether it's with a fuzzy pillow or with like Drake cuddling me. You know, like I'm like a little fuzzy person. I don't, maybe it's just me, but I like being, I like knowing that I'm loved when I'm like falling asleep, I guess, over crying, I guess. So that's just how I see things. And I know a lot of people see it differently, and that's just what works for those people, but I can't, like, what if I hear my baby crying, like, it just makes me like, I just want to pick him up and like comfort him. Just, I don't know, I just hate it. So I could never do that. I think a lot of people just get overwhelmed with like having no sleep and like the baby's crying, and they just get overwhelmed, and so they just get to a point where they're like, okay, we're done, we're just gonna do this now. And the way that I see it is motherhood wasn't meant to be easy. Motherhood's supposed to be hard. So there's supposed to be challenges along the way, and it depends, and it's up to you to figure out how you want to face those challenges. So if you choose to let your baby cry it out, then that's completely your choice. But my way of thinking is that it's not supposed to be easy. Babies only have one way. That's Kyson. Babies only have one way of communicating, and that's by crying. And they can't tell you, Mommy, I'm upset. Mommy, my tummy hurts. Mommy, I'm tired. Mommy, this, Mommy, that. The only way that babies can communicate is through crying. So that's why I take crying, for the most part. There's a difference between fussing and crying, but I take crying pretty seriously because I hate when people don't understand what I'm saying. And I'm sure the babies get the same way. I mean, I know they're only babies, but babies feel the same way. Sometimes one of the babies will be crying, and you can tell in their eyes they're so desperate to tell you something, like what is wrong. So yeah, it's just not for me. I couldn't do it. Like, I have to nurse him to sleep, or like rock him to sleep, or like, I don't know, put him in a stroller, put him in a car seat, and they'll be happy going to sleep. Even having two, it's a lot harder, and I completely understand that babies cry, and that's one of my main advice to like new moms out there, is you have to understand that babies cry, and sometimes you just have to put them down for a second and like focus, like take a deep breath, go outside, take a deep breath, and come back in. You have to like relax, because they can pick up on how tense you're being. So I completely understand that babies cry, and sometimes you just need to take a minute to yourself to like relax, you know. But for the most part, I don't do anything that involves like crying it out. So I'm pretty much rambling now. I just wanted to answer all those questions that I've gotten about the Cry It Out method. Those are my views on it. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, it is completely a mother's choice. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know what, if it works for you, then that's cool, and if not, then cool. So that's pretty much it. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you later. Bye.